Right now, something is happening with XRP that most people are completely misunderstanding. And if you don't pay attention to this moment carefully, you could either miss the opportunity or walk straight into a loss without even realizing it. The market is not moving the way hype pages are telling you, and it's not behaving the way emotional traders expect. What you're seeing right now is not excitement, it's pressure building silently, and this kind of phase usually decides the next big move before anyone notices it. So if you think XRP is just waiting to pump, you're already thinking at a surface level. And that's exactly how most people get trapped. Now, look at the current situation clearly without emotions. XRP is stuck in a tight range, moving slowly, not showing any strong breakout. And this is the part where people get bored and start making mistakes. They either sell too early because nothing is happening, or they buy aggressively thinking a breakout is guaranteed. Both reactions are wrong. This phase is not about action, it's about observation, and most people don't have the patience for that. What you need to understand is that when a market like XRP slows down like this, it usually means one thing: big players are positioning themselves quietly. They are not chasing the price, they are controlling it. Retail traders jump in with emotions, but institutions move with strategy. And right now, the behavior of XRP shows control, not chaos. That means this range you are seeing is not random, it's structured. Now, let's break this down in a simple way. XRP is moving between a resistance zone around the mid $1.50 area and a support zone near the low 1.30 range. This is not just a number, this is a battle zone. Every time price goes up, sellers push it back, and every time it drops, buyers hold it. This creates compression, and compression always leads to expansion. But here's the part most people ignore: the direction of that expansion is not guaranteed. If XRP breaks above the resistance with strong momentum, then yes, you can expect a move higher, and that could attract more buyers quickly. But if it fails again and drops below support, the fall can be fast because there's not much strength underneath. This is why blindly holding or blindly buying right now is not strategy, it's gambling. Another mistake people are making is linking every piece of news to price movement. They think if something positive happens around Ripple or the crypto market, XRP should instantly go up. That's not how this works. Price moves based on liquidity, positioning, and timing, not just headlines. You can have strong developments in the background and still see no movement in price. And that confuses people who don't understand market structure. Also, pay attention to the sentiment around XRP right now. It's mixed, and that's a warning sign. When people are confused, markets usually stay slow or make fake moves. You might see small spikes that look like breakouts, but they fail quickly and trap traders who enter too late. This is exactly the kind of environment where discipline matters more than excitement. So the real question is not when will XRP pump? The real question is, what is XRP preparing for? And the honest answer right now is simple: it is preparing for a decision. The price is building pressure, the range is tightening, and sooner or later it will break. But until that break is confirmed, everything inside this range is just noise. If you want to move smart, you stop reacting and start watching. You define your levels, you stay patient, and you wait for confirmation. Because in markets like this, the people who rush lose money, and the people who wait take advantage of those who rushed. Now, here's where most people completely lose control of their thinking, because they start believing that just holding XRP automatically guarantees profit. And that mindset is dangerous if you don't understand what's actually happening behind the scenes. Holding without a plan is not strategy, it's just hope. And hope does not survive in a market that is controlled by smarter money. At this stage, you need to stop thinking like a fan and start thinking like a trader. XRP is not moving based on what you want, it's moving based on liquidity, and liquidity always follows structure. Right now, that structure is tight, controlled, and very deliberate. This is not a random sideways movement. This is accumulation or distribution. And if you can't tell the difference, you are basically guessing. Let's break that down clearly. Accumulation means big players are buying slowly without pushing the price up too fast because they want the best entries. Distribution means they are selling slowly while keeping the price stable so they can exit without crashing the market. Both look the same on the surface, and that's why inexperienced traders get confused. They see stability and assume strength, but stability can also hide weakness. So, how do you read it properly? You watch behavior, not just price. If XRP keeps testing the resistance level again and again without breaking it, that shows weakness, not strength. Strong markets don't struggle at resistance, they break it. On the other hand, if every dip gets bought quickly and price refuses to stay down, that shows support is strong. Right now, XRP is showing hesitation on both sides, and that tells you one thing clearly: the market is undecided. And this is exactly where traps happen. You'll see sudden moves, quick spikes up or down, and they look like the start of a big trend. But then within hours or days, the price comes right back into the same range. That's not a trend, that's a trap. These fake moves are designed to trigger emotions: fear when it drops, greed when it rises, and both emotions push you into bad decisions. Now, let's address another flawed assumption that many XRP holders have. They believe that because XRP has strong long term potential, the short term price must reflect that. That's not true. A strong project can still have weak price action for long periods. Markets don't reward belief, they reward timing. You can be right about XRP's future and still lose money if your timing is wrong. Also, understand this clearly: the market does not care about your entry price. If you bought high and now you're waiting just to break even, you are emotionally attached, and that weakens your decision making. Smart traders don't think about getting their money back, they think about what the market is doing right now. At this point, XRP is not giving a clear signal, and that itself is a signal. It means wait, it means don't overtrade. It means don't force an entry just because you feel like you're missing out, because the truth is there is nothing to miss right now. The real move has not started yet. Now focus on what actually matters. Watch how price reacts near resistance and support. Watch the speed of movement. Slow grinding moves usually fail. Strong, sharp moves usually continue. If XRP breaks above resistance with weak volume and slow movement, that breakout is likely to fail. But if it breaks with strength and holds, then you have confirmation, not assumption. And here's the part most people ignore: patience is not just waiting, it's active discipline. It means you are choosing not to act until the market proves something. Right now, XRP has not proven anything. It is sitting in a zone where both bulls and bears are testing each other. And until one side wins clearly, every move is uncertain. So if you're being honest with yourself, the smartest position right now is not aggressive buying or panic selling, it's controlled observation. Because once XRP makes its decision, the move will be clear. And at that moment, you won't need to guess, you'll just need to act. Before we continue, understand this clearly. If you're expecting part three to suddenly reveal a secret signal that guarantees XRP will pump, that expectation itself is the problem. Markets don't hand out certainty. They create pressure, confuse the crowd, and then move when the majority is positioned wrong. Now, let's go deeper into what's actually forming with XRP, because this is where things start to matter more than noise. When price stays compressed for a long time, like it is doing right now, it is not inactivity, it is preparation. But preparation does not mean direction is confirmed, it simply means energy is building. And that energy can explode upward or downward depending on which side gets exhausted first. Right now, XRP is in a phase where both buyers and sellers are testing each other repeatedly. Buyers step in near support zones, sellers push back near resistance, and the result is a repeating cycle of rejection. This kind of behavior usually creates impatience in retail traders, and that impatience is exactly what larger players use to their advantage. Let's be brutally honest here. Most traders don't lose money because they are wrong about direction. They lose money because they enter too early, exit too late, and react emotionally to every small movement. In a range like this, emotional trading becomes even more dangerous because nothing is trending. So every small move feels like the start of something big. But here's the reality check you need. If XRP was truly ready for a strong breakout, you would not see this much hesitation around resistance. Price would not keep rejecting at the same area multiple times. Strong breakouts don't beg for approval, they push through levels and stay above them. Right now, XRP is still struggling to prove that strength. On the other side, bears also don't have full control. Every time price drops towards support, it doesn't collapse instantly. It stabilizes and gets bought back up. That tells you something important. There is demand in the market, but it's not strong enough to dominate yet. So what you have is a balance, not a trend. And this is where most people misunderstand the situation. They assume balance means stability equals safety. But in reality, balance often means decision is pending, not safety guaranteed. The longer this balance continues, the more violent the eventual breakout becomes because pressure keeps building like a coiled spring. Now, let's address something uncomfortable. Many people are already emotionally committed to XRP going up. They want bullish confirmation so badly that they ignore neutral or bearish signals. That is not analysis, that is bias. And bias is exactly what the market exploits. If you remove emotion and just observe structure, XRP is not confirming direction yet. There is no clean breakout, no confirmed breakdown, just repeated rejection and absorption. That means any strong move right now without confirmation is more likely to be a trap than a trend. You also need to understand timing. Even if XRP is fundamentally strong in the long run, the market does not move in straight lines. It moves in phases of expansion and contraction. Right now, we are still inside contraction. Expansion will come, but forcing predictions about direction during contraction is where most losses happen. So, what should you actually focus on? Not predictions, not hype, not social media narratives. You should focus on confirmation. A real breakout is not just a candle crossing a level, it is a move that holds above or below that level with strength and follow through. Until that happens, everything is just testing. At this point, XRP is teaching a simple but difficult lesson. The market rewards patience, not prediction. The traders who survive this phase are not the ones who guess correctly, but the ones who avoid unnecessary risk while others rush in blindly. So, as we move into the next phase, remember this clearly. Nothing is confirmed yet, everything is still being decided, and the real move will only begin when one side finally gives up control. One thing you need to accept at this stage is that XRP is not stuck by accident. This kind of price behavior usually exists because the market is in a transition phase where early positioning is happening before a larger move. But here's the part most people misunderstand: transition does not automatically mean upward movement. It simply means the previous trend has lost strength and a new one is being prepared. Right now, XRP is showing exactly that kind of behavior. The momentum that people expect is not visible yet, and instead of trending, price is rotating within a controlled range. This is where many traders start making emotional decisions because they confuse inactivity with opportunity. They think if I don't enter now, I'll miss the move, and that mindset is exactly what leads to poor entries. Let's be practical. In a strong market trend, you don't see repeated rejections at the same levels for long periods. You see continuation. But XRP is not continuing anything right now. It is repeatedly testing boundaries and pulling back, which tells you that neither buyers nor sellers have full dominance yet. And when dominance is missing, the market becomes unpredictable in the short term. Now, here's something you need to understand about liquidity: big moves don't happen randomly, they happen when liquidity is collected. And liquidity is usually collected during phases like this, where price moves sideways and traders start placing positions in both directions. Some people go long expecting breakout, others go short expecting rejection, and the market eventually moves in the direction where the most liquidity is trapped. This is why false breakouts are so common in zones like this. Price moves above resistance just enough to trigger breakout buyers, then quickly reverses. Or it drops below support just enough to trigger panic sellers, then snaps back up. These movements are not accidents, they are engineered conditions created by market structure. So if you are reacting to every small move right now, you are already inside the trap cycle. The market does not reward reaction in this phase, it rewards patience and clarity. And clarity means understanding that no direction is confirmed until structure breaks properly, not temporarily. Another important thing people ignore is momentum loss. XRP previously had stronger directional energy, but now that energy is fading into compression. When momentum fades like this, the market often enters what is called a decision phase. This phase does not give early signals easily. It usually ends with a strong breakout that surprises the majority. Now, ask yourself honestly, are you reacting based on what is actually happening or based on what you hope will happen? Because hope is dangerous in this environment. Many traders convince themselves that this is the bottom or this is the breakout zone without waiting for confirmation. That's not analysis, that's assumption. And here's the uncomfortable truth: even if XRP eventually moves higher, it does not mean every entry here is good. Timing still matters. You can be right about direction and still lose money if your entry is weak. That's why professionals don't chase movement inside ranges. They wait for range expansion. At this point, XRP is still inside that range. Nothing has broken structurally. No confirmed trend has started. And until that happens, every move up or down should be treated as temporary, not directional. So, what should your mindset be right now? It should not be excitement and it should not be fear. It should be control because the market is currently testing patience, not intelligence. And most losses in this phase come from people trying to force clarity where none exists yet. If you are watching closely, the real opportunity will not come from guessing inside this range. It will come from the moment XRP finally breaks away and holds that direction with strength. Until then, everything is preparation, not execution. Before I continue, I'm going to be blunt with you. If you're expecting part five to give a guaranteed price target or a sure pump scenario, that's exactly the kind of thinking that gets people wrecked in crypto. XRP doesn't move on certainty, it moves on confirmation and liquidity shifts. So, this final part is about discipline, not fantasy. Right now, the most important thing you need to understand is that XRP is sitting in a decision zone where the market is basically forcing traders to reveal their patience level. And this is where most people fail without even realizing it. They don't lose because the market is unfair. They lose because they act before the market shows its hand. At this stage, everything comes down to structure. If XRP manages to break above resistance with strong momentum and holds above it, then yes, the market can open space for continuation. But that if is everything, because a weak breakout is worse than no breakout at all. A weak breakout is what traps breakout buyers and sends price back into the same range, leaving people stuck emotionally and financially. On the other side, if XRP loses its support zone and starts closing below it with strength, then the market is telling you something equally important. It means the buyers failed to defend the level and the structure is shifting downward. In that case, the downside becomes faster because stops get triggered and liquidity gets cleared quickly. Now, here is the part most people refuse to accept. The market does not care about your bias. It does not care if you are bullish or bearish. It only reacts to positioning. And positioning is built during phases like this, not during hype moves. That's why this range matters more than the breakout itself. If you zoom out mentally, what XRP is doing right now is filtering participants. Weak traders get impatient and enter too early. Emotional traders get trapped by fake moves. And disciplined traders do nothing until confirmation appears. That is the real separation happening here, not price movement alone. And let's address something very important. A lot of people are watching XRP with the expectation that news or external events will suddenly force a move. That rarely happens the way people think. Even strong narratives in crypto only matter when they align with technical structure and liquidity timing. Without that alignment, news alone does not create sustainable moves. So, what is the correct approach here? It is not prediction, it is preparation. You don't try to guess whether XRP will go up or down next. You prepare for both outcomes and wait for the market to confirm one direction. That means you define your levels, you watch reactions, and you let the market prove strength or weakness before you commit. This is where most retail traders get it completely wrong. They think waiting is missing out. In reality, waiting is protection because the biggest losses in crypto don't come from missed moves, they come from forced entries during uncertain phases like this. So if you take one thing from this entire breakdown, take this. XRP is not giving a clean signal yet, and until it does, nothing is confirmed. The real move will come when the market stops respecting both sides of the range and commits fully in one direction. Now, final truth, and listen carefully. Most people will ignore this phase, jump in emotionally, and then blame the market later. But the few who stay patient, observe properly, and wait for structure confirmation will be positioned when the real move begins. And before ending, here's the financial disclaimer. This is not financial advice. Crypto markets are highly risky and volatile, and you should always do your own research before making any investment decisions. Never invest money you cannot afford to lose, and always manage risk properly instead of following emotions or hype.